Good morning, viewers. Welcome to ST Money's Morning News, your weekday business news channel. It's Tuesday morning, November 19, 2024, and I'm your host, Sunil Thakker of Sunny Talks Money. Let's roll. The Nasdaq and S&P 500 closed higher on Monday, recovering from some losses as investors anticipate quarterly earnings from AI leader Nvidia, and Tesla jumped on the prospect of favorable policy changes from the incoming Trump administration. Stock indexes have shed some of the sharp gains that followed Trump's decisive victory, but Wall Street remains fairly well placed as 2024 winds down. Rising expectations that the Federal Reserve will slow the pace of policy easing and uncertainty over the impact of Trump's cabinet appointments led to the S&P 500 and Nasdaq logging the worst weekly losses in more than 2 months last week. However, yesterday was different. Nasdaq Composite climbed on Monday, powered by gains in Tesla and technology stocks. After the initial market euphoria of Trump's win, investors have been adjusting their bets as they monitor cabinet appointments and expect policy shifts from the incoming administration. On Monday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed down 55 points, or 0.13% to 43,389, while the S&P 500 gained 23 points, or 0.38% to 5,893, and the Nasdaq Composite was up 111 points, or 0.80% to 18,791. Energy stocks led the S&P, with consumer discretionary also rising as Tesla jumped following a Bloomberg report that members of President-elect Donald Trump's transition team were seeking to ease US rules for self-driving cars. Industrial stocks were the biggest sectoral decliner. Shares of Elon Musk's electric car maker jumped 5.6% after a report that President-elect Donald Trump's transition team wants a federal framework for self-driving vehicles. Uber Technologies and Lyft fell 5.4% and 4.5% respectively on concerns that they would face competition from Tesla's robotaxi strategy. Nvidia reports third quarter earnings on Wednesday, when investors will assess demand for chips and the sustainability of the AI euphoria that drove much of the market's rally this year. The chip designer, which powered 20% of the S&P 500 return over the past year, is expected to drive nearly 25% of its EPS growth in the third quarter, according to Bank of America Global Research. Nvidia's shares were down after reports said its new AI chips were overheating in servers. Earnings continue to be in focus too. This week's highlight will likely be Nvidia, which is due to report on Wednesday. Walmart, Lowe's, and Deere are also on deck this week. With the key holiday shopping season set to commence, results from major retailers including Walmart, Lowe's companies, and Target will be closely watched this week to gauge the strength of the US consumer. As of Friday, 460 companies in the S&P 500 had already reported for the latest quarter, with 76% beating forecasts according to LSEG, a slightly lower ratio than in recent quarters. In other individual stock moves, Super Microcomputer rallied 16% on hopes that the server maker would avert a delisting. Spirit Airlines, meanwhile, filed for bankruptcy, and trading in its shares was halted. Trump Media and Technology Group surged 17% after the Financial Times reported it was in advanced talks to acquire cryptocurrency company Bakkt. Shares of Bakkt more than doubled. CVS Health rose 5.4% after it agreed to add 4 new members to its board in an agreement with Glenview Capital Management, striking a deal with the hedge fund that had pushed for changes at the healthcare company. Treasury yields ticked down, with the 10-year yield settling at 4.413%. In commodities, West Texas Intermediate crude rose 3.1% to $69.07 a barrel, Spot gold also rose 1.8% to $2,610 an ounce. Bitcoin traded around $91,500. A filing showed MicroStrategy, the software company turned Bitcoin whale, had snapped up a record of $4.6 billion of tokens recently. Key events this week. On Tuesday, US housing starts and Fed Jeff Schmidt speaks. On Wednesday, Nvidia's earnings and Fed's Lisa Cook and Michelle Bowman speak. And on Thursday, US existing home sales, initial jobless claims, Philadelphia Fed Factory Index. Meanwhile, on Friday, you have the US University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment, S&P Global Manufacturing and Services PMI. That's it for today, folks. I'll see you again tomorrow morning. In the meantime, let us know in the comment section what are your thoughts for the market. Happy investing, stay inspired, and remember, it is all about money.